Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome back to the realm of inspiration. In today's video, we are reconnecting to our childlike wonder with the lilies. And I am feeling a deep depth of emotion inside of me. I feel this bittersweetness, this bittersweet feeling. And I was between two different videos to be the kind of first channeling of this series for September. And I was between walking the path of enlightenment with the lotus and reconnecting to childlike wonder with the lilies. And I sat down and I felt this like immense bittersweetness from the inner child. And that kind of like, we need that wonder back. And so we're going to invite into the space now some protection so we can really dive into that wonder. And we can really connect to it and understand what the lilies have to say and how they can help us in reconnecting to that childlike wonder. So let's take a few deep breaths together, beautiful beings. And I want to make sure that in this space we are, before any protection, before anything, inviting open-mindedness into the space. Open-mindedness. And why I want to do that and why that's coming forth with the lilies is because in order to reconnect to our childlike wonder and allow into our lives things that could bring us deep joy, we must allow ourselves to have an open mind enough to not judge the things that bring our inner child wonder and joy and inspiration. So now let's just do a quick protection. Feeling like collectively our energy is kind of aligning a little bit. We're starting to clear miscommunications and start telling our truths, honoring our free will. So right now we're going to start by calling on Archangel Gabriel. And he's going to bring forth the Diamond of Clarity. And this is a protection to invite in childlike wonder with support from the lilies. I'm clairaudiently hearing it. And I am doing it. So get your Palo Santo, and I got a white candle and sage also going in the back because you can never have too much fun spiritual goody tools and support goodness with candles and sage and crystals and all the things. What's very funny is the crystals that I do have really do feel like they're for the enlightenment. But they're actually for childlike wonder, which is also indicating to me with a lot of amethyst around me where I thought that was for enlightenment, but it's actually coming through for childlike wonder, that we kind of got to clear our mental body in order to tap into that childlike wonder. So we're inviting in Archangel Gabriel into this space, bringing his Diamond of Clarity, funneling through the top of our heads down to the bottom of our feet, putting an infinite tube of protection around us with support from our guardian angels, surrounding us in divine light and love, and removing all negativities and all draining things and all things that no longer serve us from our aura to be taken and reconstituted and transmuted using the violet flame, the lilac flame, and the flame of truth, and the golden rainbow fire to turn anything and everything that doesn't serve us, anything and everything that is stagnant, that is not for our highest good, reconstitute that into something for our highest good. Let's send that to the earth to be reconstituted, send it to the rivers to be transmuted, send it to the violet flame and the flame of truth to be cleansed and transmuted, send it to source to be reconstituted, recreated into something good. Take that old energy, reconstitute it into some new energy. Bring some positive energy into our space. We're going to call on Archangel Michael to bring us protection at times infinity, Archangel Raphael to heal us from head to toe, Archangel Uriel to give us strength, Archangel Metatron to protect our lightworker abilities, Archangel Sandalphone to bring stability. And we're inviting forth in the golden Christed light all around us because there is some enlightening frequencies in the childlike wonder, because guess what? Actually, I'm hearing this now as I'm going why this one is coming first, and walking the path of enlightenment is next, because when we are children, our wonder comes from enlightenment. Ooh, let's say that again. When we are children, our wonder comes from enlightenment, because when we are young enough that our ego isn't so strong, it's not so heavy, it's not so much in control, when we're young enough that we have not really become a member of society in the way that we sell our soul to try and fit in. When we are kids and we are reconnecting and re-exploring life and we are more connected to our souls, we're more in enlightenment than when we're adults. Because when we were born, we were more connected to our souls. So actually, to go into the path of enlightenment, we must first connect to our childlike wonder. I'm getting goosebumps. That is when, you know, the Elfian Realm, the beings of inspiration, Source, Creator, they guide me. All higher beings guide me to following what is in divine timing. Divine timing is always guiding me. Let's affirm that divine timing is always guiding me. It is always, always, always guiding me. So, that being said, we are on the path to enlightenment right now with our childlike wonder with the Lilies. So let's get this Palo Santo going one last time to kind of open up our third eyes a little bit. Let's call the indigo frequency in. I feel like I want to call, I've never done this before. I want to call in the indigo frequency, the frequency of the indigo star seeds. Let's call in that light in. That those souls who come as children and are just like wide awake, wide open in their third eye. Let's call in that light. We need that support right now. I don't know why, but we're calling it in. We are calling in that support. Now we are calling in that support. So I'm going to put this Palo Santo back here. Let it finish out its opening up the space duties. And let's call on the Lilies. So I was very, very fascinated when I was sitting down and getting my list for this year, this series. What are we doing? What are we connecting with? What's coming forth? What flowers? What animals? What colors coming soon? What elements? What things are coming forth? And honestly, I was very surprised by a lot of the things that have come forth thus far. Like the salamanders, did not expect that. I did not expect the chameleons I kind of did expect. The crows, I did not expect to be so powerful. I did not expect the crocodiles and alligators to be so powerful. But I'm constantly reminded of their energy now and what they're connected to. I did not expect one that is, I think it's already come out by this point, is the toads, which I think initially it was supposed to come out at the end of August. I might have pushed it to beginning of September, but that was like end of August video. The toads. I did not expect that to be so powerful either. I am constantly being surprised by what is finding me and what is ready to communicate, or what in this divine timing now, this infinite ancient wisdom that's always been there is now in this divine timing ready to lift the veil and show itself. I am in awe always of what comes forth. So with the Lilies, I was very, very fascinated that they were childlike wonder. So we are going to really uncover why. So I'm going to call on the Earthian Elfian Elementals of the Lilies, and they are going to come through, and they are going to tell us a little bit about the Lilies from a spiritual perspective. They are going to inform us, because Lilies are also very much associated with faith, like faithfulness. So I want to know, because I studied and kind of know how to read Russian oracle cards, and in Russian oracle cards, a lot of times the Lilies, or at least the deck that I have, the Lilies are for faithfulness. But also there is childlike wonder there as well. So I kind of want to know, what does that have to do? Like, what does faithfulness have to do with childlike wonder? Let's also talk about childlike wonder. Let's talk about cosmic joy, because I'm feeling that coming through a little bit. So we might have a Elfian NoMan Joy Bringer come through to bring some more cosmic joy. And I'm feeling more, we need more confidence. So I'm channeling this in Leo season, but it will be coming out in Virgo season. And it's just feeling like for our childlike wonder, we just need some confidence to believe in our childlike wonder. So how do we do that? And let's follow divine timing and get this message out there in a concise way that we're all able to understand. And it's going to make sense, and we can start following the guidance today. So, I'm feeling a divine feminine Earthian Elfian Elemental of the Lilies, and a divine masculine Elfian NoMan Joy Bringer. So we're going to start with the Lilies. Now we're going to start with the Elfian NoMan Joy Bringer. We are going to start with the Elfian NoMan Joy Bringer, actually. That is coming through stronger. So Divine Masculine, Elfian NoMan Joy Bringer of the Innocence, of course our Childlike Wonder. I should have known from the way that I started talking and moving my hands that a Joy Bringer is coming forth first. They're already making contact and connection. So let's channel that through. Elfian NoMan Joy Bringer of the Innocence, Divine Masculine come through, and then we'll transfer it to the Earthian Elfian Elementals. So when I've safely stepped back, you may step forth. Hello, beautiful beings. I am a very excited Elfian NoMan Joy Bringer, Divine Masculine energy of the Innocence, and I have some fun messages for you all before you get to the furthering education parts of this channeling. So, first and foremost, let's clear our throats together. Clear your throats. The first thing that you need to be able to do to connect to your childlike wonder is get anything off your chest that is weighing on you. What prevents children when they get older from connecting to that cosmic joy frequency and their innocence is things weighing on their chest and them feeling like they cannot express and not knowing how to express discomfort, hurt, pain, uncomfortability. So what you got to do is you are now in your physical form old enough to know how to express these things. So now what you gotta do is let, for the sake of your inner child, you express those things that are weighing on your chest. Express those things weighing on your chest. Beautiful beings, beautiful children of life, part of life is feeling a little bit uncomfortable. So express it when you feel that way. Express when you feel human things. Express, express, express. Let your chest free. Let your throat free. Let the worries and the weight of the world go, because you now know how to express those things that when you were a child you did not know how to express, or you felt like you would be not heard or the adults would not respect you enough if you said those things. Now you are old enough that you can honor your truth, honor the truth of your inner child, honor the boundaries your inner child and your childlike self wanted to set. Be the adult, express those things to let your inner child feel safe enough to come through. Because a lot of things that cause the inner child suppression and cause the suppression of joy within is not feeling like you can express yourself fully. So express yourself fully to reawaken the door. That is of the utmost importance. Next is following the balance and flow of life. You need to balance your creativity. You need to balance your logic and your reason and your strategy. You need to balance your intuition. You need to bring forth creativity and creation, balancing the spirituality and the physical world, balancing. Bring your body systems into alignment. Do something each day for your mental body to be in alignment, for your emotional body to be in alignment, for your physical body to be in alignment, and your spiritual body to be in alignment, all with your Akashic, with your inner child. Do things each day that bring you into full body alignment, chakras and body systems in alignment with your highest self. Doing this daily reconnects you to your childlike wonder. Because guess what your childlike wonder is? It is an appreciation for life because you had not incarnated for many moons. So what that means is when you reconnect to your childlike wonder, and that joy of the innocence is being innocently reminded of what life is and the beauty of it first. Children do not feel fear first. They feel wonder. So that's what you got to connect to. You got to let go of that fear and connect to wonder first. First you got to walk through fear and find wonder on the other end of fear so that you can understand what it means to be innocently joyful. And innocently means non-judgmentally joyful. Let me say that again. Innocently joyful means non-judgmentally joyful. This means a joy that does not come from the 7 deadly concepts. A joy that does not come from the 7 deadly concepts. There is a joy of the ego that could find joy in gluttony, joy in greed, joy in lust, joy in jealousy, joy in sloth, joy in wrath, joy in pride. There is the ego joy, but that is not the spiritual joy. And so what you got to do is find that innocent joy that is non-judgmental. of others and yourself, that comes from a place of peace within, you gotta make peace with your authenticity and yourself first. Because when you are constantly judging others, it's because you got something you lack within you. So you gotta sit down with you and figure out what's going on with you and stop projecting on other people. And that is of the utmost importance. That is of the truest of true, utmost importance to do. Beautiful beings of life. And once you're able to do that, that opens the door for more. And that is where now I invite in the Earthian Elfian Elemental Divine Feminine energy of the Lilies to continue this conversation. Goodbye. Hello, I am a Earthian Elemental of the Lilies, Divine Feminine energy. Now, as I am settling through here, saying goodbye to my Joy Bringer friend, let us continue. So the lilies are a great flower to have forth in your life when you are ready to have faith in your highest self, to guide you to things that will bring joy on a deep soul level. That is where, communicator, the faithfulness comes into play. It's not necessarily faithfulness in a romantic setting or being a faithful partner, although those are things that the lilies can help with. No, it is being a faithful partner to yourself, to your highest self, being it to your inner child. And that means allowing Source and Creator to guide you as you go through life and you start to find the things that give life meaning. Childlike wonder is the things that give life meaning, are the things that remind you, yes, I am incarnating for a reason. The things that remind you why you came back to life. The sky at sunrise and sunset, flowers as they bloom, baby animals, birds chirping, the sea, the mountains, the trees, the breeze, the things that remind you why you chose life once more. Those are the things in your childlike wonder, and in order to connect to those things, you must be a dutiful partner to your highest self. That means that you must be in alignment with your highest self, and you must remember the joy your soul felt in your first moments of incarnating in this physical form that you have. You were not afraid. You were infinitely loved, as you still are, by the divine. You were not angry. You were not hateful, or prideful, or gluttonous, or lustful. You were in wonder. Every single thing you saw, every single thing you discovered brought you some sort of joy, because it reminded you why you chose life, and why you may have fallen asleep, and the ego may have taken control, and you may have forgotten what brought you here, what brought you to life again. Deep down in the core of your being, in the core of your inner child, in the core of your soul, is your why. And for all of you, especially those of you who were born around a millennia, your why is very important. There is lots of clearing to do. And now it is time for you to break a cycle. And the cycle is the cycle of ignoring your childlike wonder. It is time to break the cycle and allow yourself to be giddy and joyful and happy and enjoy all the sweetness and the sweet moments of life. And that is what the lilies represent from a spiritual perspective. That is what they can help with. That is what they represent. That is what they stand for. That is the wisdom that they carry within their petals. It is that fact. The sweetness of life is waiting for you to remember it. And you know what that sweetness of life is? That is the present moment without fear. The present moment without judgment, without jealousy, without any of these things that limit you from connecting and integrating with your highest self in the physical. It is the joy and the heartbeat of life, untouched and unburdened by the darkness within the 3D matrix. That is that wonder that you are seeking. That is what the lilies need you to know and need you to remember, that you are here for more. You are here for more than suffering you have suffered in other lifetimes. This is where you break the cycles, and you will have to suffer in a different way, and that suffering is to remember the beauty of life. And when life is made easy, that does not mean the joy is easier to find. Actually, when you have to go out into nature and pick those berries, when you have to go out in nature and find your food, when you got to go out in the world and connect with people and do trades of commerce so that way you can connect with people and get the resources you need, when you have to connect with nature and with people, that is where joy is. It is not when things are being delivered to your door and you are being cut off from the world. No, the joy, the childlike wonder is in the world. It's with the people. It's with the people. It's with humanity. It's with humanity at its purest, not at its darkest. It's with humanity when it is untouched by all of the unnecessary things. It is humanity when you are all gathering together in spaces with your family units on the beach, in a park, on a hike, and you all see the beauty of humanity and connecting with nature. That is what it is. That is connecting with people who have their trades, who have their crafts, who have the things that they love, and they are doing the things that they love, and you are sharing the things with you that you love. That is the childlike wonder. It is sharing what you love. When you are a child, you are not concerned about making financial money. You are not concerned about financial gains. You are concerned with sharing what you love, doing what you love, and sharing that with the people that you love, and sharing that with strangers that you happen to cross on the road. Children are so shareful. So shareful. They want to share things with everyone. That is the childlike wonder, is remembering that your passions and the things that you love and the things that bring you joy, the things that you feel like you must share, that you must birth into existence in this reality, are at the core of your childlike wonder. And that is the first step to deep, deep enlightenment, is remembering that feeling of sharing who you are authentically. You're not afraid of judgment as a child until you are programmed that judgment is something you must be afraid of. So you must undo the programming for the sake of your inner child and connecting to that wonder within. That is what you must do. That is the most important message for you. And that is the final message. Goodbye for now. Okay. Whoa. Feel free to go back to that whatever that part was and like watch it in slower speed. It was like they were dying to deliver that message. That is what I felt. Like they've been waiting for it. It's time. Like they're watching us from beyond the veil and they're like, you know what? It's time. We're no metaphors. We're just going for it. We just got to be blunt and direct. And honestly, that's how kids are. I've spent a lot of time with kids recently. They have no filter. And that's a good thing. Why do we develop a filter even? I mean, there's a difference between like courtesy and respect, but like also, you don't express our truth enough. And we don't accept when people express their truth enough. I believe truly that we've lived in reality that there is no freedom of speech because we filter ourselves so heavily because of that fear of judgment that was programmed into us. And that's the visual that I was shown. We lose that freedom of voice and we get silenced so much that we forget. Like, we forget that there is more to existence. And sometimes more to existence is just creating something beautiful and sharing it with the world. And I saw a lot of visuals of my child self, and also, I guess, other people's child self too, because some kids I don't really know. Sharing, talking about, expressing. You know, when we're kids, we have big aspirations and big dreams because we don't see limits. And childlike wonder is not seeing limits, and we need that back to be able to manifest. In general, to be a manifester in any way, to use law of attraction in your favor, you have to believe in the limitless potential and opportunities. When we are children, we don't see limits. We see what resonates with us. And that's what we got to reconnect to. That is that first step that leads us to understanding our highest self. So next week, we will continue this conversation in walking the path of enlightenment with the lotus. The only other visuals I was given was like the collective inner child, like banging on, I guess like titanium tin, I don't know, something door. One of those like big soundproof doors for like a bank or something, like a vault door. Banging on a vault door and just like, let me out, let me feel the wonder of the present moment of nature at its purest, at its untouched. There is something in the childlike wonder of, we have a responsibility to take care of each other in the world because we are beings of life. We are beings of the tree of life. We're all different, and we all have our little, like, different units and different things going on. But at the end of the day, at our roots, we are life. And we are incarnating in life in the physical for a reason, and that is said so much, and that has been beaten like a, what's the saying? Don't beat a dead horse? Or it's been beaten to that. I don't really know the expression very well. I'm forgetting the expression because it never made sense to me in the first place. But it's been said a lot, this statement. You know, we are beings of life. We are incarnating in life for a purpose. But that childlike wonder actually reminds us, like, hey, we are actually here to experience life. And we are here to create. And we are here to live. And a lot of the things that seem like living because it makes life easier, well, then we're not living. And we need to get out of sloth. We need to get out of spiritual sloth. And we got to start living. We got to let the inner child live and let the spiritual sloth of the ego go. And that was the last important visual in that sense that I saw with like the pattern of the lilies floating around. And that being said, that concludes this video. May the petals of the flower of inspiration lead you back here again, sending you love, light, and inspiration. And stay inspired, beautiful beings. Until next week with Walking the Path to Enlightenment with the Lotus, I wish you an infinite amount of inspiration and abundance. Goodbye for now.